Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, June 26.
Flagler County, we should be an A district today. We should be an A district tomorrow.
That's LaShaka Moore, who's serving as interim superintendent of Flagler schools. Amy Cherry has our top story.
She's focused on making Flagler one of the top school districts in the state.
How do we get that? How do we get stabilization within our organization, which is a priority for me? What are those things that we can stabilize now as we move towards a permanent superintendent? But we need that as an organization in order for us to truly perform the way that we can perform as Flagler schools.
Moore also tells WNZF about her priorities.
We definitely need to have someone that is invested, that one understands the importance of a school district within a community, that is focused on student achievement always, but really focused on ensuring that they are bridging that gap and to our local community stakeholders. That is something that we've heard loudly over the last few months. And I think that is something that when the team begins to look at what is the interest of the stakeholder, that's going to be a big part of it.
Moore took over in the interim for Kathy Middlestad, whose contract was not renewed. The school board will begin the search for a new superintendent next month, starting with an online survey. They hope to have a permanent superintendent in place in the new year. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Major road construction is getting underway today in Palm Coast.
Matanzas Woods Parkway resurfacing is beginning today as the first of 5 resurfacing projects approved by Palm Coast City Council for major thoroughfares throughout the city to enhance the quality and condition of the roadways. The city of Palm Coast says for the rest of the week, milling and resurfacing will take place on Matanzas Woods Parkway to prepare for a new layer of asphalt to create a smoother and safer driving experience. You're advised to be prepared for lane closures and delays. In all, the project will take about 4 weeks to complete. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Florida sees its first known case of chronic wasting disease.
The first victim was a white-tailed deer in Holmes County. The Fish and Wildlife Commission has issued a public service announcement explaining chronic wasting disease.
CWD is a disease of the brain and central nervous system that is always fatal to infected members of the deer family. It's a contagious disease, and once it's introduced to an area, it can spread quickly within a deer population.
There's no vaccine or cure for CWD, also known as zombie deer disease. An infected deer shows signs of the disease in the latter stages.
Deer will be extremely skinny, sickly, and have lost their natural wariness of people.
Here's how the disease spreads.
Through an infected deer coming into direct contact with another one. Deer can also become infected when browsing an area contaminated by CWD prions.
Those prions can be spread in the landscape through bodily fluids or a decaying carcass. It's possible that in the future, CWD could have a dramatic effect on deer populations. But the good news? So far, there's no evidence this can be spread to humans. However, it's wise to be very careful.
Those who see or harvest a sick or extremely skinny deer should avoid handling it and call the CWD hotline.
Florida is now the 31st state with a confirmed case. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
Marineland Dolphin Adventure is celebrating its 85th anniversary.
Park Director Felicia Cook describes Marineland's main goal.
We're about conservation. We're about preservation, and we have to teach that. We have to get other people to understand how important it is to keep a clean ocean, to keep clean earth, so that we can make sure that the creatures that live on both have what they need, that we have what we need. And so Marineland, that's their foundation of this, is conservation.
But it's much more than that.
A lot of people don't realize that we work with different therapists for Asperger's, for Alzheimer's, for autistic, Down syndrome. It's amazing what a dolphin can give to a person in any of those situations, even our cerebral palsy patients.
Do the dolphins have a connection with humans?
Since I'm not the scientist, I'm not going to say that, because we're very careful not to put human feelings or actions or reactions on our dolphins. But as a mom, I think so.
Learn more at marineland.net. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
Hurricane season is here and many volunteers are ready to be called into action.
Susie Gamblain is the director of Flagler Volunteer Services. She said on a recent episode of Flagler Health Matters that volunteers are essential in making special needs sheltering happen. She also said they do it all.
Everything from helping in the call center at the EOC to filling up sandbags, driving with transportation to help residents get to the shelters, doing traffic control, and just a variety of activities.
Gamblain said that volunteers are dedicated to helping other people during disasters. Listen to Flagler Health Matters on WNZF Saturday mornings at 11:30 or on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, how to be a member of the Volunteer Army. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Lee Show with your WNZF local sports update.
Florida Gator baseball took center stage this weekend, battling LSU in the College World Series. Game 1 of the best-of-3 Saturday, tied at 2 in the 6th.
That ball is hammered to right field. All is right. It is out of here. B.T. Ryapel.
B.T. Ryapel puts the Gators on top 3-2. LSU ties it before Tiger Cade Meloso hits a go-ahead home run in the top of the 11th. LSU wins Game 1 4-3. The Tigers had the chance to close out Florida yesterday. Despite a Ty Evans home run for the Gators, LSU led going to the top of the 3rd. Florida tied it at 3 before Evans stepped to the plate again.
Breaking ball to start, and Evans skies this one down the line and left toward the corner. Pearson back at the wall. That ball is gone! It's a grand slam for Evans!
Both calls Carl Ravitch, ESPN. The Gators never looked back, scoring the next 21 en route to a 24-4 win, breaking a College World Series scoring record that had stood since 1957. Coach Kevin O'Sullivan's Gators are 1 win away from their 2nd title.
We're excited about the opportunity to play tomorrow. Obviously, we can't take any of these runs into tomorrow. We'll have to reset and reboot, but awfully proud of the way they responded from yesterday's tough loss.
Game 3 tonight at 7. Major League Baseball, the Miami Marlins hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday afternoon. Jonathan Davis' 2nd home run of the season put the Marlins ahead in the 3rd. Yuri Perez struck out 9. Miami wins 2-0. Jose Siri homered in the 3rd and scored on a wild pitch. The Rays get a split with the Royals, winning 3-1. The Daytona Tortugas finished their longest homestand of the season with their 8th win in 9 games, upending Palm Beach 12-2. They are off until Wednesday when they hit the road to take on Tampa. We are your home for local sports, with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the WNZF Sports Desk, I'm Mike Licio.